A razor-sharp neurotoxin is flooding a female honey badger's bloodstream, and her internal life support systems are flashing red. A Cape Cobra just slammed 2 lethal syringes of venom straight into her shoulder, leaving her motor control glitching like a cheap video game. 15 feet above her on a sheer, crumbling rock face, 2 hooded chemical terrorists are cornering her screaming, helpless cub. She has roughly 20 minutes before her central nervous system forces a hard reboot, plunging her into a venom-induced coma. Her vision is already melting into a smeared, double-exposed nightmare. But backing down simply is not in her cellular code. Pop culture lied to you. Honey badgers are not invincible, immune superheroes floating above the laws of biochemistry. They are just biologically reckless gamblers running a terrifyingly close trade-off. The Cobra's alpha neurotoxins act like microscopic sabotage crews, rushing to lock down her acetylcholine receptors, the biochemical ignition switches that tell her muscle fibers to contract. If those receptors lock, breathing stops, heart rates plunge, and death arrives in minutes. But the badger's cellular architecture sports an evolutionary cheat code, heavily mutated receptor shapes that make it nearly impossible for the venom keys to fit the lock. Nearly. Instead of flatlining instantly, her body undergoes a violent, agonizing system slowdown. The venom cannot kill her outright, but it turns her muscular firing system into molasses. Subcutaneous fat layers act like biological speed bumps, slowing down venom absorption just enough to buy her an agonizingly small window of consciousness. With every staggering step toward the cliff wall, her respiratory system screams under severe depression. Her brainstem is throwing panic alerts, demanding she lie down and sleep off the chemical shockwave. Instead, an insane wave of pure, unadulterated maternal adrenaline overrides the biochemical kill switch, forcing her leaden paws onto the razor-sharp granite. The climb is a vertical death trap. Her depth perception is completely destroyed, her pupils blown wide open as the toxins hijack her optic pathways. She isn't climbing by sight anymore. She's relying on a hyper-calibrated, hardwired spatial memory map built over years of patrolling these lethal ridges. Every muscle twitch requires double the effort as neurotoxins pool in her tissue. A loose slab of shale gives way under her rear foot, sending her hanging by a single trembling claw over a 50-foot drop. The venom-induced lethargy pulls at her limb like concrete armor, but maternal rage snaps her muscles back into line. At 10 feet up, the first cobra strikes down like a spring-loaded whip. The badger's delayed reaction time should mean a fatal bite to the eye. But her thick, loose hide operates like a flexible Kevlar suit. The fangs snag in her fur, discharging a wasted dose of venom into empty air. With her motor skills rapidly deteriorating into violent, involuntary spasms, she grabs the cobra by the throat with a raw, unrefined crunch. There is no surgical precision here. This is a chaotic, brute force purge. She hurls the writhing, snapping reptile into the chasm below. But the physical exertion acts like a supercharger for the remaining venom in her veins. Her heart rate spikes to an unsustainable maximum, pumping the neurotoxic tide directly into her core organs. Her lungs are operating at barely 30% capacity. Reaching the narrow ledge where her cub is pinned, her vision blacks out completely. She is effectively flying blind, powered by sheer neurochemical spite. The second cobra rears back, hood flared, ready to deliver a lethal strike to the cub's unprotected soft palate. Interposing her heavily padded body between the reptilian hitman and her offspring, the mother takes the strike directly across her snout. She doesn't even flinch. The pain receptors are already numb from chemical overload. Using the last reserve of biological fuel in her failing mitochondria, she pins the second cobra against the sheer cliff face. Her jaws clamp shut like a hydraulic vise, snapping the snake's spine in a sickening display of reflexive muscle memory. The threat is neutralized, but the countdown timer hits 0. Her nervous system pulls the emergency brake. Her legs liquefy beneath her. Her breathing drops to a shallow, barely perceptible murmur, and her body collapses onto the cold ledge, shielding her frightened cub beneath her twitching, unresponsive bulk. To an outside observer, she looks completely dead. In reality, her body has entered a hyper-defensive biological lockdown. While she lies in a deep catatonic coma on the narrow cliff edge, her cellular maintenance crew goes to work at top speed, metabolizing the trapped venom, flushing out the neurotoxins, and resetting her acetylcholine receptors. For 2 grueling hours, her cub stays buried beneath her motionless fur, protected from predators by her formidable inert weight. Then, with a sudden, violent gasp of air, her diaphragm jolts back to life. Her eyes snap open. The system reboot is complete. The poison is cleared, and the most unhinged mother in the animal kingdom stands right back up.